On a Thursday night, and you are tuned in to Beltway Radio and Beyond, and that can mean one and only thing.
We gotta work on that.
I'm no good at that yet. Welcome to ChipChat. Hi, I'm Chip. Who are you, Tez?
You just told him. At least that's the same.
That's still the same. We're the same people.
Look, it looks like, all right.
We still look like we're mostly the same.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of can tell if you are. How do people? All right, I've obviously.
Way to pay attention.
Not been around.
Keep the game down on the thing, Brian. I can hear it already.
Oh, God.
That's it. We're just learning all of our... Welcome to our new network.
Yeah, our new network.
So if you're watching, you're watching on a few locations. Here's where you can be watching.
All right. I'm taking my notes, friends, and I'll be...
You could be on our website. That's beltwayradioandbeyond.com. The name was not taken. We're very proud of ourselves. You could be on Twitter, which you're not.
I log in now on my computer. I just don't have the apps on my phone.
You could be on Twitter at Beltway Radio.
Oh,
you're right.
Look at that.
You could be on Facebook.com/Beltway Radio. You could be watching us on Twitch.
Wow.
Our handle is Beltway Radio.
I'm going to post all this stuff out. I'm going to get this. I have like tweets in my head, and I got drafts. One day I'm just going to unload.
One day you're going to actually send your drafts.
Send everything out.
So you could be watching on any of those locations, or you could be watching on Facebook.com/RibChipChat because that's where we're also broadcasting. And, or you could be listening to us after the fact on all of your podcast locations where you already listen to us. That part isn't going to change. So, hooray. Here's this funny thing about this network. Nominally, I'm in charge. Kind of.
Nominally, yeah.
Kind of. So the days of blaming Trump for not paying us or being a cheapskate or, the studio being crap.
Yeah.
Those days are over.
They are.
Now.
God damn.
That guy. Now.
Our sounds came with us.
Yes, they did. Instead, we're blaming Pastor Green Thumb and Big Hoover.
Okay.
So if anything goes wrong, it's their fault.
All right.
That's right.
Way to own it.
There you go. So this has been our first week on air. We've had a few technical difficulties, but I think we've mostly got those solved. Tonight is a good test of it.
Because Brian's here.
As we've said many times before, everybody needs a Brian in their life.
Yeah.
Our Brian is fantastic.
Yes.
He can fix a lot of things.
Honestly, we're just being completely honest. This wouldn't even have continued on if he said, you know what, I'm done with this.
Well, I would have had to learn a lot more than I did, and I already had to learn like 5 or 6 things.
There's the commitment right there.
That's
Chip,
a lot.
Chip just said, no, this would have continued on because I would have been over there.
Yeah.
Doing
because this show has to keep going.
Yeah.
The network took a break in the past, in the before Tez times.
I hear you mention that.
And and Larry and I basically taught ourselves how to broadcast over various other forums from my shop in the back of my garage.
Oh, like Kai Rizzo.
Yes.
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 Just I'm pretty sure you don't have this.
He was the inspiration.
Right.
No, I mean, we did it. It was very difficult to run a board and operate the software and do all the talking. But we did it. And then Larry cried about it being cold because it was wintertime for a period. We had heaters in there, but he was like crying about it's cold. And that's stupid because he's from Buffalo.
So black. Let's black
but he's from Buffalo.
Yeah, that's true. That's different. Yeah, it doesn't matter what
I don't think color is the operative thing about Buffalo.
It's just always
You're
negative.
From Buffalo.
0.
Yeah.
Adapt. 0 and below.
Yeah.
In Buffalo.
So anyway, this has been an interesting thing, but we've done all of this. And Tez has done not a damn thing to help us.
I have not. Yes,
He's been incommunicado for like 3 weeks.
All right, listen to
And we could have a guest this week, but we don't. Why? Because I've been doing all this stuff to get the network up and running, and Tez didn't lift a finger.
No, this is really bad. This is really bad. All right. Let's list out the things that I have not done over the last month.
That you could have helped us with.
Yes, I have not. I did miss the Rippies, but that's old shit. We're not on that radio network anymore, so that doesn't even count. And I was sick as shit.
Right.
Yes, but I have not did a single thing. I have been in a time where I should probably be online promoting stuff. I deleted the apps off my phone.
Right. You've been negatively helpful.
Yes, I'm negatively helpful. But they always say that showing up is half the battle.
What's the other half?
The other half is actually doing what you brought
the
to.
show?
Yeah, I guess. Oh, you know what? There you go. That's the whole. No, New Year resolution, which I think I might have did the same one last year.
Yeah. We'll have to go check the tape, right?
I have to run the tape back. I will commit to getting at least one guest. Because that's just, I'm going to start really, I'm going to commit to getting one guest. And I'm going to commit to sending Brian specific sounders for our show. Things that I think we can use over and over again. I think the first one that I'm going to send to you, Brian, as I've been thinking about this over the break, is...
For a year and a half.
I have the ideas. I'm an idea man.
Yeah.
I'm an idea man, but, it's just getting them out and fleshing them out. But we need to cut our best friend, Alex Jones, and whoever that caller is that says, you keep interrupting me. That needs to be cut because we need to use it in times like when Charlie... Yes, exactly. When Chip is interrupting, let's say, Charlie, like he was that time, and forced him to bang on the table, which I thought was great radio.
It was fantastic.
Brian
Conflict is good radio.
Yeah, of course. And Brian will know when to, because it's gonna happen. And it's just you keep interrupting me.
All of it's lies because you're lying. That's why.
It's bad how much in my house we communicate that way. In
your family now uses the Alex Jones auto-tune as a method of communication.
Yeah.
If this show has done nothing for anybody, it's that impact that we've had on your life.
It is, and they say laughter is gonna keep you alive, and I cannot. Any time I watch it or even think about it,
like corn on the cob.
But the new one is really like you keep interrupting me. The feebleness of that person and how it is incredible, and I probably shouldn't laugh as hard as I do at them because he's not a funny man.
It's okay to laugh at their misfortune.
Yes. But yeah, that's my first sound, and I will cut it up and I will send it.
Well, we know what Brian's going to be playing in the break, so that's going to be really good.
That's the only reason I come here every Thursday. Do you understand? I just want to hear.
Hopefully you'll stick around for these other segments because we do have some other segments that are coming up.
There's a lot of news.
We've got rundown. We've got news. I put a Tez Talk in there in case you wanted that one. It was the two things that you care the most about at once.
Not the atmospheric river.
No, not that.
Look at them dead ass people. This is insane.
Well, it was Twitter and Metrobus.
Oh.
So I thought you'd be interested in that, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Who cares?
We'll find out how we get closer into the show.
And so
first week.
Then we got to do our thing. Now I had to rewrite it. I have been hand typing this intro for 8 years, and that last little part of it kind of is like muscle memory at this point.
I can only imagine. And
I was like, that didn't work. So we're gonna try and see. Do you have your word?
Yeah.
I think I've got one. He's thinking.
I have one.
Okay. You ready?
Yep.
Sit back, grab some
effort.
It's Media Mogul time. You're listening to the best show, the only show, Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
There you go. All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Ted.
What's popping up?
All right, so now it is time for list time. Now, this is a special list time because it features our favorite Kevin, Dumb Kevin. And credit to Joe Scarborough for coining the nickname. Dumb Kevin is Kevin McCarthy.
Look how happy he is.
Look at how McCarthys have fared in the D.C. area in the last week between Kevin and Mike. Not great. Hail to something or other.
Yeah,
I don't know what the name of our team is. We got that stupid pig.
Whew, there's so yeah.
They could not swing harder and miss. It is. That's a whole nother show. Yeah. The whole thing irritates me to no end.
They don't love y'all.
No, he hates me. It's me. This is the anti-chip conspiracy. This is the same reason Harbaugh's up on these bullshit charges about the level 1 violations for talking about a damn hamburger. Like, there is this global anti-chip conspiracy.
That's another one. You allowed us to see. We couldn't even watch a decent national championship. You let
was not our fault.
It is your fault.
What?
It is. It's
the refs. There was two targetings they didn't call, and they took a touchdown that was obviously a touchdown away from us. He caught the ball over the plane. That's a touchdown.
They should have.
Or as Dan Snyder calls it, a tutty. I don't know where he got that shit.
Go blue.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, wow. Just bury the man while he's already 6 feet deep.
Woo! All right, so Dumb Kevin had a bad time. Now, we're going to talk more about Dumb Kevin's bad time in the Capitol, but right now we want to talk about list time. So, in order to finally realize his goal of being Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy had to give up literally everything, including this new set of rules that he had to agree to, which involves putting all of these Freedom Caucus people on the Rules Committee. Great idea. People who don't respect rules making rules. It's going to be great. Several of them are under indictment, so, they might not be there that long. He also had to do a bunch of other things where he was doing some groveling and crying and whatever else. We have compiled a list of some of the lesser-known rules that Dumb Kevin agreed to in order to finally get the votes to become Speaker.
Yes.
Okay. So here is that list. Number 1. Go ahead.
Kevin will be required to give his fruit cup from every third lunch.
Every
lunch to Andy Biggs.
Yes, Andy Biggs gets every lunch. Yes, that's very good. Okay. Only every third lunch though. He gets his fruit cup some of the times.
Look, that's you got it. Yeah.
Or whatever.
Oh God. Okay.
What? Congress isn't the same as prison. It's a lot of similarities. Being taken care of by the taxpayer.
Well, what?
They don't do anything useful.
I was gonna say,
just waiting out time.
But I'm like, but one set of those people probably don't deserve to be there as long as they end up being.
That's true, and those prisoners should be let
exactly.
go.
Exactly.
Yes. Number 2, all bills relating to the naming of post offices will now require 3 rounds of voting. That's in reference. People aren't going to get that.
That's
a lot of what
inside.
Congress does by unanimous consent is name federal buildings and post offices and stuff. It's where the whoever's representing the two parties is sort of standing there in the well, and they go, "We want to name these 6 post offices this thing," and the other one goes without objection. The motion is carried, and unanimous
name the post
consent.
office.
Yeah, and it's like, but that's the way the law is written. They got to do it.
Yeah.
So now, Dumb Kevin is like, well, we're going to do 3 rounds of attendance voting on all of that. That's what Matt Gaetz wanted. That's what he's going to get.
Okay, well, we'll see. The efficiency is going to rise inside.
Yeah, just like the post office.
Exactly.
Okay.
Speaking of post office,
Yes.
number 3, all post offices will now also have to include in their names, quote, Amazon Washington Post is fake news.
That's right. Because the Trumpistas are at war with the post office over Amazon or something. It's not really clear what they're making.
No one knows.
They're just making up new shit.
Yeah.
They came up with some excellent new shit this week. We're going to get to that a little bit. I mean, they're just... I mean, out of thin air new shit. I was quite impressed.
They never cease to surprise me.
No. I have to think. There was one that came, it was like last week, that was that Zelensky, the Jew, is prosecuting a war on Christianity.
Oh, the Orthodox deal.
Because they seized a couple of these Orthodox churches that were funneling money to the Russians. Like, it's a war, you idiots.
Well, you know, we take breaks for Christmas.
Right. Unless we don't.
Yeah.
There was that soccer game that Germany and England played during the first war.
That is true.
Yeah, that's true. And England lost that one, too.
Yeah,
Way to go.
You know. It's coming home.
It's not your fault.
It's not my fault. Look, until it is.
Yeah, until it is.
Until it is. Don't miss one.
Saka.
Sterling. Yeah.
Sorry.
We always remember. We'll never forget.
Okay, number 4, Byron Donalds, who was nominated for the speaker job by a couple of idiots, will be given the keys to Kevin's car to use whenever he wants, even if Kevin is already using it. He can just go, it's fine now. Yeah, okay.
Your favorite. Number 5, Lauren Boebert gets his office.
That's true.
So she's the speaker now.
She gets the office.
Oh, so
it's actually very funny about this because before the vote was finished, Dumb Kevin had already moved all of his stuff and was operating out of the speaker's office. And one of the things that Matt Gaetz did was send a letter. This is how Congress communicates. They send letters to the architect of the Capitol, who is basically the facilities manager of the Capitol.
With a better name.
And says, why is this guy in the speaker's office? What's the rule or legal justification for him to be in there? He's not the Speaker of the House, which is right. It's technically accurate, but he's just being a shithead.
The whole week that this government
wait till the
my God,
the debt ceiling or the budget runs out.
Oh God!
I mean, the clock is ticking. I think we've got a CR that gets us through maybe March.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye AAA rating.
It's gonna be great.
Bye.
Well, that comes up in August.
Oh, that's the August one.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
But I think the CR gets us through March. So like you thought it was bad when the FAA had bad software. Imagine when none of those air traffic controllers get paid and they don't come up to work.
Yeah, and people already like, I'm more than my job. If you guys is playing around, I'm out.
They'll just leave.
Yeah, well, people is like, my sanity is more.
Unemployment rate is next to 0. These people can get jobs.
Yeah, exactly. Doing something they might actually like
that they care about. Yeah. All right, number 6, the speaker's gavel has been replaced by a squeak toy that used to belong to the dog of Paul Gosar. That's going to be hilarious when he goes to try it. Also, can we extend and offer $50 to the first Democratic congressperson who stands up and Kevin goes, for what purpose does the gentleman from such and such rise? And he goes, to call you a punk-ass bitch.
Oh, my.
Because you're not speaker, Matt Gaetz is speaker, you're a punk. It's $50 right now. We'll pay it. Katie Porter looking in your direction. She'd do it. She'd have a whiteboard. For what purpose does the gentlewoman from California rise? Yeah, I'd like to highlight here on my whiteboard why you're a punk-ass bitch.
Oh, my. This is what you get on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Beyond. All right, number 7 on this list.
Number 7, Matt Gaetz will give access. Oh, my God. Matt Gaetz will be given access to Kevin's kids. Turns out his daughter is older than 21, so never mind.
Yeah, when I wrote that
Sometimes
joke,
I just read this stuff.
Yeah, that was a blind read.
Yeah, I was a blind read. Oh, cool.
When I wrote that joke, I was like, I think I might have crossed the line, so I ran it by my wife, and she more than cringed at it, and I was like, yeah, definitely went over the line. So then I looked it up. He does, in fact, have kids. I didn't know that when I wrote it. And he has a daughter who's called Megan. But I think at the time of the article I read about her, she was already 25. So don't worry, Megan, you're safe. Matt Gaetz does not care about you if you've already been to prom.
If it wasn't
true,
based on truth, well,
true.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Can't get us for slander if, first of all, you're a public figure, and second of all, the thing that we're talking about is verifiably true, which it is, because you Venmo'd her, idiot. He's congressman. You know that?
I mean,
he's Speaker of the House. Did you know that?
Yeah.
That's great. All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. When we come back in the rundown, we're going to tell you about some more funny stuff that happened to Dumb Kevin and everybody else around here, because there's some real stuff that we do need to talk about with this. Not just funny laughing at Republicans being idiots. But that is funny. It is. Did you watch all the rounds?
I watched a decent amount.
I kept tuning in. I had it on in the background at work, and I started to learn Congress alphabetically because they were calling them so often.
Calling them over and over again. Oh my God.
It was very funny.
It's like watching
Smith of Rhode Island, Smith of New Jersey. You know, it's like that's great. All right, we're gonna take a break. You're listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
I'm sick of all these witches and warlocks and full of shit. Pumpkin possums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
And all of it's lies. Because you're lying. That's why. Oh, there's energy and oh, now we're done with Trump. You said he was the Messiah. You said he was invincible. I will not suffer your Q people after this. I knew what you were day one. I know what you are now. Witches and warlocks and full of shit. Pumpkin possums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
And all of it's lies. Because you're lying. That's why every goddamn thing out of your people's mouths doesn't come true. You said it was all over. Q tells us stuff. Q. Oh, God. Witches and warlocks, you're full of shit. Pumpkin possums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
And all of it's lies. Because you're lying. That's why witches and warlocks are full of shit. Pumpkin possums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
And all of it's lies. Because you're lying. That's why. Because every god thing.
All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm your host Chip. Laughing over there is Tez. It's
You
your
keep
favorite.
interrupting me.
Oh man.
Oh my God, that shit makes my face hurt. I can't.
You all right?
Yes, it's so funny. Yes, I'm all right.
All
I'm
right,
good.
so let's talk about Dumb Kevin's very bad week. So here's the deal. He was elected speaker finally after 14 failed attempts that saw all kinds of hilarity, including the following. These things are not jokes. I did not make these up.
Like there were less votes in time.
Yes.
Back then.
Yes.
It's
This
civil
is never,
strike. Yeah.
for more than 100 years, there has not been a leadership election that wasn't decided on the first vote. And to point out, even in fairly recent history, like in the last time when the Democrats took control, there was some question about Pelosi winning.
I'm glad you're mentioning this.
And she has only one rule, Nancy Pelosi does.
You know the rule.
Don't put anything on the floor unless you've got the votes. That's it. That's the only rule. Don't bring it up unless you got the votes.
And you got to know how to count votes.
That's right. And that's what she does.
And I think people really
Nobody does it better than her.
People really dislike that lady. And like, if you just want to look at it, like strip everything away and be like, as a politician of like what you're supposed to do and how like to legislate.
To legislate.
Yeah, right.
To get shit passed.
It was impeccable.
Nobody does it like her.
Yo, yeah. So
the only other close is LBJ.
Yes.
And he
but his was like
threats of violence.
I was gonna say, hold on.
Yeah.
He was gonna. I feel like he'd jack you up on the damn
He
wall.
did all the time. There's all these stories about him grabbing people and pulling them into the cloakroom and punching them in the gut and telling them, "You know how to vote now, right?" And they go, "Yes, sir." Because
the lunatic from Texas.
yeah, hey, come hell or high water, he was getting civil rights.
You're right.
He wanted that shit. He was mad.
And changed the course of history.
He did.
In many ways.
All right. So anyway, here's some things that happened during the 14 failed votes. What
is this section on Beltway Radio and Beyond? Has it changed?
No, we're not changing. Just because you got the name Beltway in it, it's not mean we're just talking about politics.
No, but what segment are we?
We're in the rundown. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't do the thing. Now we've come to the part of the show that's called the rundown. This is where I'm going to tell you about some stuff that's going on in the news.
Can't sit around and start changing shit like that.
All
right, there we go. All right, now.
Dumb Kevin lost 14 times. Then he got in on the 15th time.
Yes.
Okay. One of the things about the House is the first thing and the only thing they can do is have a speaker election before they can do anything. They can't even swear in. And so all of the people who are elected to the House, even the ones who are incumbents, are at that point not Congress people.
I was so
which
afraid.
is very, very funny.
I was so afraid. I was like, I'm sitting back. I'm like, Iran, anybody, China,
It's their
whoever,
opportunity.
this is it right here. People,
Can't even declare war.
people will be like, even like sworn in.
They're not even there.
Like what?
It was really funny because for whatever reason, Boebert came on Stephanie Rule's show on MSNBC. I don't know why this happened, but it was like a 15-minute interview. God bless Stephanie Rule.
A lot of folks have talked
Tolerating
about
that
this.
shit. I tried to get to. I got about 10 minutes, and that was with leaving a couple times. I couldn't even deal with it. But she kept calling her Congresswoman elect, and
wow.
Boebert hated that. But it's true.
It is.
At that moment, now when other people were calling like Swalwell Congressman elect, he was laughing about it because he understood what they were saying, right? But she was like, "I'm a Congresswoman." Like, not right now, you're not. There's no Congresswoman.
There's no Congress, so no business is getting done in the people's
house. Nothing can
house.
happen. And also, for whatever reason, instead of like taking time and asking to adjourn and figuring stuff out, Kevin just let the votes keep running. So they just, which shows his impotence, but they basically just were like, they would vote. Jeffries would win. Future Speaker Hakeem Jeffries would win with 212 votes. Unanimous on the Democratic side every time, except for the one that David Trone, Maryland guy, missed because he was like in the bathroom or something. Okay. And so he keeps winning with the most votes. Dumb Kevin gets 201. Assorted other people get the other 20. And that's it. And then the clerk reads it out. And then immediately, for what purpose does so-and-so rise? And it's to
I would like to nominate
Kevin McCarthy for Speaker. And they would immediately, it got so repetitive that Pete Aguilar, who nominated Jeffries for the first 2 days, gave the exact same speech each time, except changed the number of elections Jeffries had just won in the House. So, like, you know, something, the winner of 4 elections in the House, the winner of 5 elections for Speaker, the winner of 6 Finally, on day 3, they let other people nominate Jeffries. But still, pretty funny.
If it wasn't the actual...
If it wasn't the government wasn't working.
Governing body of...
Italy has more governing capability than the House GOP at this point. And they can't hold a government together for more than 5 minutes. Belgium was without a government for 540 some odd days. The Israeli Knesset is more functional than the House GOP. Ooh, if you know anything about world politics, that was a heavy one.
That could be another whole show of what's going on over there. I was like,
we're not talking about.
I was like, hold up, bro.
We all got cousins we don't talk about. That's Bruno for us. Nope.
That's also the interesting story of how there seems to be that sentiment right there has not always been. Now it's like we don't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah, it's getting worse.
It's changing to the point where like folks are like, I don't.
Yeah, even me.
Yeah, I was like, so.
All right. Another thing is that the holdouts in this vote, they basically were publicly laughing at dumb Kevin. At one point, some reporters asked Matt Gaetz, what more can Kevin McCarthy give you to get you to change your vote? And he goes, he doesn't have anything left to give me. I've gotten everything I wanted, and he's out of ammo. I'm just not going to vote for him.
Obstructionist.
Yeah. And it's
legit obstructionist.
Do you want the laptop or not? Like, just vote for him and get your committee, idiot. But, like, I don't know, whatever. But they were just laughing at him in his face. And there was nearly a fist fight when another GOP congressman was like, Matt Gaetz, you child fucker, what's wrong with you? And Gaetz was like, hey, don't call me that thing I am. And he was like, ah, and then they grabbed him by his face. They broke up the fight by grabbing a congressman by his face.
Now, usually when Congress people are like getting beat up on the floor. Or
it's 1856.
Exactly, and it's because they're giving a speech against slavery.
Right.
That
did happen. That happened. 1856.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's usually when
Which is the last time they had this many
elections.
They were, in a weird way, giving a speech about slavery, which is what gets me to this thing that we do need to talk about, which is called Black Republicans.
And not the good radical ones at the end of the war.
No, modern Black Republicans.
Yes.
Okay, so...
Not Frederick Douglass.
In the run-up to Kevin's nominations, several times people are sort of up there making the case why they should vote for him. And one of the reasons you vote for leadership is because he delivers you an election. He campaigns and spreads money and helps get members elected.
Hey, guess what didn't happen?
He didn't do a good job of that at all. As a matter of fact, he basically blew it. They had this obvious opportunity, and he got negative. He made it worse, and so there wasn't that. But they did make a point that dumb Kevin has more than doubled the number of black Republicans in Congress. To what number did he double it to? This is twice as many as there were the last Congress.
5?
5. That's right. There were 2.5 Republicans before. I don't know how to divide that by 3
I don't know. Oh, Lord. Oh.
But I'm sure Mo Brooks does. He's not in Congress anymore. I'm sure that, so there was 2.5 and now there's 5. And they're proud of themselves. They're like, look, we've got 5. How many black Democrats are there in Congress?
Oh, my, in the House?
Yeah.
I don't know. More than 5.
Yeah, 56.
6, I was going to say. Yeah,
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
That's pretty good.
And I mean, that kind of tells you just...
It tells you everything.
It tells you everything.
But here's the next thing it tells you. They nominated Byron Donalds.
Yes, they did.
And at one point, they got up and started saying, hooray, we could elect the first black Speaker of the House.
Wait.
To which the Democrats stood up and started chanting, Hakeem, 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 because he had at that point won 6 elections to be Speaker of the House. So that was very funny, but also gets to this point here. This is this incredible racist tokenism. So at one point, one of the Republicans looks over at the phone of one of the Democrats and sees that they are reading a tweet or making a tweet about how nominating or voting for Donalds is this tokenist racist bullshit. And they brought it up in their nomination of Donalds, of course, and said, like, it's time that Democrats stop being racist. Just because a black man is a Republican you don't get to take his black card away. And, like, none of that is what we're talking about.
Friends,
and
what the hell is going on?
So,
the fact that you go up there and even say that is insane.
It's very racist. It's very you're admitting, like, plainly what your problem is that you know one black Republican who they patted on his head, by the way, after they did, and then felt his hair. It was great. Yeah, there was all
what?
That. You know how, like, you get off the court and you might pat somebody on the head, like, shaking, good game, hey,
like, but that's in a different type of environment.
But it's a different type of environment.
That
wasn't right.
Context and environments is everything.
We're not sweaty getting off the court.
Yeah.
You're sweaty having just lost 14 House votes, and a bunch of white guys wanted to touch Byron Donalds' head, which is what happened. Okay. At one point, he again, not sure why this happened, Byron Donalds went on Joy Reid. And she goes, why are you qualified to be Speaker of the House? And he goes, well, I'm in my second term, and I think I've learned everything I need to know by now. And she's like, you're a second-term congressman. Why on God's green earth should you be Speaker of that? Do you even know what the Speaker does? And she asked him, like, don't you think it's racist and tokenist that they were nominating you and let's be honest, why were they doing that? They were trying to highlight.
What was his response to this?
It was some, like,
word salad?
It was every time a black person does something with the Republicans, you Democrats call us racist or, try to. It was the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a value system, right, of what you value and, right, like, ideology, it's clear that party has deviated. Some of the staunchest Republicans and conservatives I know don't vote that way anymore.
Right.
Like ones who, like,
they have,
like, that are like and some will say it's the country club ones, but I don't even think that so much. There are, like,
the Chamber of Commerce Republicans.
They'll say, but there are a lot who do not vote that way, and I don't know. Maybe everybody has different experiences in this country. Maybe your experience in this country somehow can align, as a black man in this country, align with the Republican Party. I am very...
In the 1870s.
Yes, exactly.
Here,
Frederick Douglass.
I mean,
is a
I
Republican.
just, I,
But I personally cannot see where even if you believe in like conservatism, it's like it can't be. They're
you
not.
can maybe get back to like Ike and see
Yeah.
good sizable black votes for Republicans, but the problem is it's not just the current like Trumpist cult
Yeah,
of
not
white
even-
supremacy.
Yeah, that's all. That's the
if you
icing.
were if you were
That's
going
not-
if you were going back to like the 80s and you're looking at Reagan. And you're going, well, I want somebody who wants small government. He did not shrink the
Yo, he
government.
did not shrink the government.
I want low taxes. He raised
didn't- yeah.
taxes. I want
His lunatic right wing hates him for that.
yeah. Well, they just don't like it when
they
you
don't
read
like
those
the
speeches.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
make up their own versions of it. It's like the white people who know that I have a dream and nothing else. But
Bird
like,
Society.
right. So like, but you couldn't talk about small c conservatism in that era and not see that by then the Republican Party had become expressly anti-black.
Yeah.
And now they've just gone so far off that end. There's not even the veneer of like, well, we're just trying to, have good governance and fiscal responsibility. There's none of that. There's, hey, we're going to nominate one of five black people that we know. We only know those 5 to be speaker, not based on any, it's not like when you've got this infinitely qualified person who happens to be
Right.
the diversity candidate.
Yeah.
He is nothing. He has no experience leading anything. He worked on Wall Street before this.
Nah.
He's got just no credential whatsoever. And they're like, oh, we're going to nominate him. Why? And that's what Joy asked. Why him? You have 220 other people you could pick from.
You
And
could have
why
put
did you
what's
pick
my
him?
man's name? Santos?
Well,
I could have put him up.
which sort of gets to I mean, we beat this to death that this is racist and token.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's kind of sick, but also it is very sad though because the Republican Party for Black Americans in this is like
they have this huge opportunity. Same thing with Spanish people.
yeah, but even like the history of and it's way far from that, but like if you think about what that comes from and some of like the really like they're like there's some great white folks that are part of that really actually believe in like abolition and
Yes.
those radical Republicans came up with crazy like things in their time that was insane and that this party I mean they kind of and they've retreated a long time ago.
Well, they both have switched places a few times.
Exactly. Yeah.
There were progressive Republicans in Teddy Roosevelt's day who were like out there trying to regulate big business. That seems
That's never gonna-
antithetical to the
Yeah.
current idea of Republican.
Right.
Like these names are kind of amorphous. The left and right is the thing that's still there. They're
yes.
they're-
And it can switch. And it seems that it can just kind of
the labels can switch, but the left is the side that values and understands that there are people and humanity, and the right is the exploitative anti-human party.
Yeah.
And that's just how that goes.
Yeah.
And that's that. What name you slap on them.
It doesn't
make any
matter. It doesn't
difference.
matter at all.
Yeah.
But it's just it's like to have that type of tokenism in this party where it's like there was a time where there were like strong Black Republicans of like that meant something
Of renown.
Yeah, like that are like and
that there's statues of.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's heartbreaking.
Speaking of slapping names on things, George Santos.
Is he?
Or
is he,
maybe Anthony something or other,
I don't
or
know.
something DeVolder. Or,
Is he in your tribe? Is he with me?
Well, he's not.
Is he with? Who is
he's
he
not Jewish.
with? I don't know. He
He
said
tried the Jewish thing. That's not how that works. He's under federal indictment in Brazil, which we're gonna get to a little later.
Oh God. Yeah.
Like, okay, so the guy lied about everything.
Yeah. He did. His own Republicans, they're like, they don't even have a majority. They have a slim majority. They're like, get this guy out of here.
6 of the 11 Republican Congress people from the great state of New York, have come out saying he needs to go.
Let's go.
And the Republican Party of his home county said he's got to go. He lied about everything. And there's also this big problem that he made $55,000, or he had $55,000 to his name last year, and then all of a sudden he's a millionaire and donates $750,000 to his own campaign and to other Republican campaigns. By the way,
Which, with the Supreme Court, should be now able to get that.
I
want to see. But I think he's going to get caught up on campaign finance laws. But
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that'll happen. But even just like, oh, this shit is insane. Like, cause
He definitely got the money from someplace.
Someplace, yeah.
If it came from somebody that isn't American, he's 6 ways from Sunday.
Yeah.
Screwed.
It's over for you.
So
That's why he needs to resign. As
he
every
needs to
Republican is
resign,
asking.
and they're all asking him to resign. Also, this is a massive failure by the Oppo research, the Democratic side. It's a Democratic-leaning district. We should have won. And the Zimmerman campaign somehow missed this obvious stuff.
Yeah, like what is actually going on like in your campaign at this point?
And this is also what happens when you defund journalism. And you have
this is a local news story bigger than any other that you've ever seen.
It's
like,
just like it turned out with that the Senate president in New Jersey who lost to a
truck driver
for only 200 votes, and it turns out the guy's a Klan member. And it was like, and it wasn't even
how we
hiding
return to the roots.
You know, I mean, so Santos is in trouble, but as esteemed guest of this show, friend of the show, Joe Walsh likes to say. It doesn't matter what the other people in Congress think, and it doesn't matter what everybody else thinks. What matters is what the voters of his district think. They can choose a lying son of a bitch as their congressman if that's what they want.
That's how democracy works.
And that is, in fact, true. So this idea that we should, ethics can censure him. They can take away his committees. They can make it difficult for him to operate and, not give him any resources. But the idea that the House should expel him or could expel him.
That's insane.
That's not constitutional.
That's
or if
insane.
it is, it shouldn't be.
Yeah, that's insane. There's not, I mean.
The people are entitled to elect idiots if they want to.
And also, too, though, he's not above the law. And if he's broken any laws, then that's
a different story. But
So
he
we'll
might
see.
get thrown in jail. That doesn't necessarily mean he's not
You could
getting
still
elected.
I would say you could still be.
As fighting Joe Morrissey, now state senator in Virginia. He's been in like 3 different offices, moved districts, whatever. He won while on work release. He would campaign and be home to jail every night by 7 o'clock, and he won. Fighting Joe. Gotta love him.
That's how it works.
Yeah, it's a good dude. Anyway, George Santos, very dumb, very, very stupid. And he keeps tweeting like incendiary shit. Like, I will not resign. And then he picked a fight with Adam Kinzinger. Kinzinger was like, you should resign. And he's like, why don't you go on CNN and cry about it? Like, that's exactly what he wrote.
Who is this guy?
Adam Kinzinger is like a real paratrooper, right? Like, he's not a fake whatever you are, George.
And
if that's your real name,
and
Anthony.
to my knowledge, he's a civilian.
He is now.
Yeah, so tread
what's
lightly.
going to stop him from...
Tread lightly, friend. Just be easy.
All those gun laws you support.
Yeah.
All right. And speaking of which, idiots offing themselves, this section is called Darwin.
You like this.
I love this.
I know. I hate it.
This is a good segment.
I don't like Americans.
A leading QAnon promoter,
well,
not American,
yeah,
QAnon promoter who urged both her followers. Stop.
Hold on.
It's
Hold
not,
on.
No, it's just the way it's written.
Very funny. Because
I copied this from a news story from Yahoo News. This is real.
Often 2 people who's following you on Twitter is really sick.
But it's very funny
how it's written.
That it's written who urged both her followers and
strangers. There we go. All right.
She passed on the street not to take the COVID vaccine, died a week ago Thursday.
This is still going on. We've been running the same story.
coronavirus.
We've been running the same story, insert name here, for a year and a half. And we've slowed down a little bit over the last 2 months.
You think Diamond
3
died
months.
from the COVID? They're not saying what killed her. Herman Cain was getting lonely. He reached up and grabbed her.
Christ.
Come on down here, lady. I need somebody to talk to and smile weirdly at.
Look.
From whose Becky stand.
Oh God. Look here. I'm just mad that this story keeps. And guess what? Bring me these stories of people taking the vaccine and keeling over. I've had 3 of these things.
Yeah.
Still here, running my mouth.
Somehow made the Damar Hamlin thing about the COVID vaccine. He said that he had a heart attack because he got his vaccine. Which I don't know if he even did.
Jesus.
We're not clear about that. He's out of the hospital, by the way.
Yes, thank God.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Also, football, probably too dangerous. Shouldn't be playing it.
What?
Yeah, I know. I came to that same conclusion that very night, and I was like, but you know what? Next week, beat the Cowboys.
Of course, because it doesn't matter. Nothing beats the NFL.
It doesn't work.
Nothing
doesn't
beats
stick.
Not for anyone in this.
The opportunity to put the jersey on and beat Dallas, I felt it. I was there. Ready.
I'm ready.
Like corn on the cob. I'm so ready.
I was just glad that this city was happy to beat Dallas and go into the sunset.
You got your favorite thing.
Yeah.
A Monday after
go rest.
a win.
Everyone go rest.
And specifically a Monday after a Dallas win, that buys you all the way to like Wednesday of people being sort of irrationally nice to each other.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yep.
I'm still feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah, as you should.
And when they get whooped out of the first round of the playoffs like they always do, I'm going to feel even better. Because they're like, oh, we're going to the playoffs. Like, we know what's going to happen, you Dallas. It's okay. Calm down. Tony Romo's in the booth now.
Yeah.
Can't blame him for everything anymore.
Can't. You just blame Doug Prescott.
Mike McCarthy. Those McCarthy boys. Doing great. All right, you want to take a break?
Let's take a break.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, Brazil. You're listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
3 for the money, 2 for the hustle, and 1 for the nighttime. Spread over the city like a comforter. Prime time for the predators who come to hunt for the chunks. Carrying them high notes like a trumpeter. They shoot as straight as arrows and run through the shadows as sons of a gun or dirty young caballeros with marks on their collars where they hung from the gallows. Their lust for the dollars keep them red like the tarots, making fiends, influencing people. Dale Carnegie's with big dreams to get rich quick that fail horribly now. They play the avenue of Amsterdam with other pickpockets and thieves and gambling mans, and they just come at all the noodles where resistance is futile. Business as usual to blow out your wig like French poodles. Never ending pursuit of the American dream. Winner takes everything is still a regular thing. Listen. Hey yo, 1 for the will of man, 2 for the kilogram, 3 for the cold killer who could still be a millionaire. Filling the Frigidaire, big plates and silverware, where everybody eat except the one who was ill prepared. Through the circumstances, there's no more chances. We was raised by wolves, grizzly bears, and panthers is wild. Yo, I'm surprised we ain't grow no antlers. The whole house is fucked. Like JoJo dances is hopeless to drift into a deep psychosis. Do the most for just another bleak prognosis. Out of respect for the dead, the names is changed. When Booby Pop lit in his wig, his aim was flames. If one thing them young boys not playing his games, now that'll teach an old timer how to stay in his lane. I guess the moral of the story is any sip you pour me is a toast to the warriors who bit the dust before me, kid. Grateful.
All right, well, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's popping up?
All right, so now we got to talk about Brazil. We don't have a guest this week, so it's Brazil.
Yeah.
Okay, Brazil is a large country in South America.
Yeah.
It is the largest country, I think, in South America by people and
Mass,
size.
Yeah.
It is
Mass.
where some of the Amazon, but not all of the Amazon is, but a big chunk of it.
What's left?
Yeah, it's where George Santos might be from
Maybe.
and is facing criminal charges.
Yeah.
It's where that, what's that crybaby guy's name? Neymar. He's from there. He sucks.
You're an insane person.
He
to say
fakes
he's-
injury in the World
he's-
Cup when it turns out he can't score any goals. That's what happened.
He's one of the greatest footballers.
Yeah, but he's not Messi.
Mind you, though, I called that on our show.
Yes.
That I called that World Cup.
You knew the two who would be in the final.
Yes.
You got it wrong who was going to win it.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you picked Messi?
I picked
don't
Messi.
forgot.
I would listen back to it. I picked Messi.
When
what's it? I got very
When
scared.
Di Maria was healthy enough to come in and play in the semifinal, I was like, I think this is going to happen. Because the two of them, when they're on, like, it's unbelievable.
What a great final.
Yeah, it's like
I will never
Stockton and Malone, just the way that they
Never forget that final. I was in my
I
house.
can't believe that France didn't even get a shot on goal until the last 3 minutes of the game. It was insane.
It was
This team that was putting 4 up on every opponent couldn't get a single shot on.
My hairs on my were risen throughout. After that match,
And
I was
then
kind of
Mbappe did it twice.
Oh, what a
Kid
fun.
is amazing. Can't wait.
World champ.
It's gonna be on Everton. It's true. It's coming up. Watch. He's gonna sign that contract. We're not gonna be relegated.
What is that transfer
We're
fee gonna
still
look
like
like?
halfway through
Yeah,
the
you guys
season.
should
We
be
got
safe.
plenty of time. We got
But
time.
guess what? Top of the league.
Yeah. Derby Day's coming up there, Hoss.
It is.
Kane is coming off of a deep World Cup run.
He's about to get.
Yeah.
He's about to get walloped this
I
week.
think Son's healthy too.
Oh, that's what we need to worry about.
I think you do need to worry about that. All right,
Anyways,
so
back to more important.
back to Brazil. Brazil is a place that also plays a lot of soccer. is
Yes.
what we're getting.
Watch out.
Okay. The important thing to know is that Brazil had an election fairly recently.
Yep.
It featured a guy who behaves a lot like Trump. His name is Jair Bolsonaro. He has a colostomy bag because he got stabbed on a campaign trail event because he was calling all the gay people that F word that he loves. He's a nutcase.
He really is.
He is. He told everybody that he wished that the military dictatorship that ruled Brazil until 1985 had killed more people. He seems he was burning chunks of the Amazon, not even that the agribusiness wanted, but just to do it because he just hates that the Amazon is there. There's no gun culture in Brazil. He created a gun culture in Brazil, gave everybody guns. He's an absolute crazy person. He didn't get the COVID vaccine, then he got COVID and rolled around on a lawn tractor in front of everybody to prove that he was fine. Then he went to the hospital because he wasn't fine. Like,
A lot.
it's a lot of stuff. But also, just like Trump, as the election was approaching and he thought there was a chance that he would lose, he started seeding this idea that if he did lose, it was because of fraud.
And also remember that Brazil is one of the few places, I think might be the only place in the world, that their ballot is strictly digital. There's no
all
paper.
digital,
There's no
right.
paper backup of it.
And it's been digital like that
Long
for
time.
a really long time.
Long time.
They have like TV commercials where they put the ballot numbers of the people you're supposed to vote for. It's go watch Brazilian election ads. If you can speak Portuguese, it's probably even funnier. But these are amazing.
Right.
And they're like used car salesmen running for office. All right, so they had the election and he loses to a guy named Lula. Well, they call him Lula.
They call him Lula.
Ignacio Lula da Silva, but they call him Lula because everybody in Brazil just goes by one name. Hulk, Fred. It's not even a real name, but that's just what they go by.
Yeah.
Right? Fabinho. Does he have a first name? Is that his first name? Nobody knows.
Pele.
Pele, yeah. I mean, Neymar.
Neymar.
But they've got a long history of that. So they've got a lot of extra names lying around in Brazil. So nobody's using the last names.
To
You
like,
just pick one up.
to like domains.
Right. No, they are. That's how that works. All right, so Lula wins, and Bolsonaro basically just like hangs around, just like Trump. He just hangs around, but he
Yeah.
doesn't say anything
Doesn't
or do
concede.
anything. And he doesn't concede, and he doesn't like go to the transition ceremony where he hands the sash over. He leaves and goes to where all coup plotters go, Florida.
Yeah. Specifically South Florida. You know.
20 minutes from Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
Doing Steve Bannon's podcast. That's all true. So, on January 9th, because in Brazil they're below the equator, so everything's upside down from here. So there's the 9 and the 6. That was a good joke. I'm proud of that one.
Oh God.
Brian, where's the... All right. Anyway, I got to do it for... I got to do everything on this network.
New management. New management.
Your boss sucks. All right, so anyway, Lula wins, Bolsonaro goes to Florida, and then on the 9th, his people, who have been camping in front of military barracks for the last month and a half.
And most folks have been laughing at these people for a long, like the
Yeah,
last
people
month and a
drive
half.
by and look at them and march by and they laugh and they go, you guys are crazy.
Crazy losers.
Well, the crazy losers had a WhatsApp going on, and eventually they got a signal about a party, which they knew and everybody knew, was time to attack everything. And they attacked the government center there in Brasilia. They smashed the Congress, the Supreme Court, and the presidential building.
Because they're all like
They're all
in
three right
close
together.
proximity to each other.
They call this the Plaza of the Divided Powers. Okay, like they're pretty proud of like this. Look at us as a real democracy kind of a thing, and these guys are not proud of democracy because they lost, and they smashed everything. 1,000 people are arrested. It takes a long time for the security forces to get control of it, probably because just like here, a lot of them are aligned with the rioters,
Right.
and it turns out at least 2 of them now have been fired and indicted and arrested, thrown in jail pending the outcome of their failed riot. I don't know. Eventually, they get control of it. Lula tells everybody's going to throw them all in jail, and they start throwing a bunch of them in jail, and then the rest of them go home, and the camps are now abandoned. It doesn't mean these people have stopped.
No.
And the majority of the polling and everything that the reporters have been able to dig up is this now convinced them that it was stolen from them. Because why else would they react so fiercely?
And I think what everyone needs to look at is when these conspiracy like plots and these theories kind of get going, it's a snowball effect. And even in this case, Bolsonaro he's told folks, he's like, yo, this is over with. Like, you need to move. Like, he's moved on,
He
obviously.
might be saying that in public. I don't think he's really saying
But-
that.
yeah,
I think
but
he's back channel communicating with
But
people.
no, I think he's done with this.
He
but
doesn't have to.
He doesn't need to. But I get it. It's already started, and where these movements, for lack of a better word,
No, that's exactly what they are.
They create a lot of like belonging and camaraderie and like things that I think people are actually missing in their lives, and you don't need him any longer for this. Like it's gonna continue to move.
It's self-generated.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
like even
it's
in this
like
country,
Q. I mean, you know.
in this country, the only difference is that like Trump every day is like Bolsonaro is not every day out there like, yo, the shit is like rigged. Like he's pulled back on that, and even from the beginning, it never was. Trump has been on like straight on that.
Yeah, but I think it's also a different media environment, and so I don't really understand Brazilian media enough to know, but I think that there are surrogates at this point. He doesn't have to do it. Like, you know, once you kick the ball down the hill, it's gonna keep rolling. You don't have to keep pushing it. It's just gonna go. And that's what's going on over there. It's the same thing as what's going on. I mean, it's the same thing that I anticipate will happen in Italy within the next year or so. When their government eventually falls apart and the right wing loses, they're going to riot. It has become part of the sort of handbook of wannabe dictator. Is you win an election, Hitler won an election.
Yeah.
You stage you know governed by hatred and fear. Good so far, making all right.
Yeah.
You stage some sort of violence, and then blame the violence on your political opponents. That's exactly how the Nazis ended up taking power. What's different here? You know, who rioted on January 6th? They still think it was Antifa. And they're proud of that they were there. I don't know how those two things happen.
Yeah, I mean, but also too, the Justice Department seems to be out here throwing
Throwing
a book.
indictments at people.
Yeah, and they throwing a book like
Yeah,
some of
but
those
the judges
sedition.
are letting them off.
Those sedition charges, I mean,
Those are gonna.
like, we'll see.
They're
And
gonna get heavy.
what's her name is on trial right now for it?
Taria.
Yeah, Taria.
It's your cousin.
The Afro-Cuban.
He's Afro-Cuban.
The
Come on.
Afro-Cuban
Yes,
from Miami is
probably, you know, far enough back, you're buddies.
Oh my!
Maybe his dad and your dad were friends.
Why are all these? What's going on? Like,
I'm not checking. I'm not saying nothing. We're not doing so great.
yeah, it's
ourselves.
bad. But it's like one of those things. It's so difficult when you sit there and look like, wait, huh?
I just wish you weren't.
White?
Yeah. Well, you know, he could be Byron Donald.
Yeah. I tell you,
I
the
don't
one
see a lot of difference.
for the Jamaican community, Lee Malvo, that was the one that hurt us. We was
Oh.
like, oh God, what?
Yeah. Why's he got to be?
What he killed a Jamaican bus driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
How many Jamaicans are in this country?
it's right.
You know,
And you
maybe 100,000, a couple 100,000.
And
You found the one.
uh,
The one other guy in the DC area. It's not like it's New York or
yeah,
something.
exactly.
Miami.
I mean,
You know, Little Kingston here in the DC area.
There's not that. I mean, there's some, but it's not
There's
like
a
Toronto.
neighborhood called Trinidad.
Baltimore might
Yeah.
have more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
hands down. But yeah, you never like to see your own in there, and you're like, ah. But it happens because you know what? Everybody's got fucked up people in their own shit. That just seems to be what it is.
Well, you could have 5 of them in the Congress.
Yeah.
It's great. Whatever.
Ah.
They're all it's all the same thing. Okay. Do you want to take a break? Or you
Yeah,
just
let's
want to
take a
do you want to do a break? All right, we're gonna take a break. You're listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
All right, well, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm your host Chip. With me is Tez.
What's popping out?
All right, Tez.
Well, we need to almost flip this segment probably. Like I think the Tez talks, I'll still find stuff because there's news out there.
News.
But even though like maybe you guys should bring me things on Twitter, like you're bringing this to me for the first time that I don't see anymore. Oh look, I love the dead ass
birds.
The dead ass blackbirds. I always think of there's like a Nas line where he's like, I was high watching dead birds fly through a broken sky.
Look at these dead ass birds.
There you go.
All right. So today's TED Talk on Twitter, which I don't have any longer on my phone, but I do log in every now and
But
then.
you used to be quite the Twitter aficionado.
Yeah, I am.
In the pre-Elon days.
I really enjoyed the platform. I like words. So
And nuance.
and yeah, nuance, which doesn't really work on these platforms. But Twitter mysteriously suspended my other favorite topic on Twitter, Metrobus.
Yes.
Under the umbrella of WMATA, which is the Washington Metro Transit Authority, which announced that there was suspension of the official WMATA Twitter account, which is still active. But the Metrobus, but they used it to let the
to say, hey, by the way, at Metrobus Info is not operating.
Right, and
because it's been suspended.
And why is it suspended?
We couldn't tell you.
No one could tell you because it's Twitter, which I heard is worth 50% less than it was when you bought it.
Yeah,
that's what the Fidelity folks are saying.
No, you know those junk mail things with the coupons?
Yeah.
I got one.
Yeah.
And it was Elon's face, and it just had him like going like, and he was begging, and I was like, look, if you give me a tote bag.
Hey, tote bags always just smooth everything over. But yeah, around 3:45 on Tuesday, there were 6 bus alerts affecting 6 Metrobus lines, according to WMATA's website. And then they got accounts suspended. Twitter suspends the accounts, usually that violate Twitter rules.
Go check at Chef Chip.
Yeah,
By
that's
the way,
right.
still suspended, Elon.
So yeah, how are you not back? And
I
there's
filed several petitions since the takeover, to appeal it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure no human looks at them, so they.
No, but they've let some wretched people I know back on there. And
Yeah,
you're not back.
I know. All I did was wish Ted Cruz well.
Yeah, you're like semi-wretched in like a good way. It's very, very interesting. But like again, this just kind of dovetails into this whole platform, and one of the reasons why I'm like, I probably don't need to just be on it as much. I'll log in like old school days, so you don't have and that. But there's no rhyme or reason for a lot of things that end up
because
happening.
the reasons that
there's
can be
if you don't know
this
why,
is an incredible list.
the list is insane.
Threats of or glorification of violence, terrorism or violent extremism, child sexual exploitation, abuse and harassment, hateful conduct, promotion of suicide or self-harm, posting graphic violence or adult content, or using an account to buy and sell illegal goods and services. None of those, by the way, is wishing Ted Cruz well. I should be reinstated.
Hold on.
What?
Abuse and harassment and hateful conduct. I think you kind of.
I said I hope you do well in your battle with polio. That's what I told him. Like,
That we shouldn't even be battling. But anyways.
That's the point.
The bigger point.
He was being anti-vax. I was like, you're going to get polio because you don't have your vaccine. All right, so anyway.
And here's the best part.
Which of those things did the bus do?
That's
that was meant to be a joke. You're not supposed to give
I was thinking about it. I was like, I don't know. Did the bus do right?
I mean, the bus is a little abusive.
I was
sometimes.
I was going to say, I don't know. Like, the bus.
Well, you would know it's late if the Twitter was working. You wouldn't feel like you're getting abused.
I thought the best part of this, though, was that NBC Washington reached out to Twitter for comment, but direct messages to Twitter communication account failed to deliver on multiple attempts.
Because,
that means,
of course, their platform doesn't work.
I can't believe this guy has taken something I really enjoyed for many years, and it's just. Well,
I've been there since 2009.
Same, yeah. And it's like, Bomani Jones said something earlier, I think earlier in the week, that he's like, why do we keep calling this person one of the smartest people that in the world? Because he made the point that was like, people call him like one of the smartest people in sports radio and shit like that.
Radio,
and he was like, if I did some dumb shit like this, no one would be calling me the smartest person at anything. And
no, ever.
This is who buys something like this to burn it down, to run it in the ground.
I mean, I don't know.
He's not even using it in the way you would think. Like he's gonna a lot of folks would think that maybe like the 2024 election, this is it doesn't seem like this will even be a thing then.
Yeah, he might have ruined it so bad that it's lost all of its influence. I mean, to be honest, it looked like this was the result of his petulance. He got in trouble on Twitter, or people made fun of him, and he was like, that's it, I'm fucking, it's like taking your ball and going home.
Yeah.
He's like, nobody can play Twitter. I'm going to make it not work. I'm going to pay $44 billion, some of which is other people's money. I'm going to dupe other people into letting me buy this thing just so I can fuck it up so you can't make fun of me anymore because my mom said I'm special.
Hey, here goes the other thing. That is just a great way to wrap this up. The other thing is, this isn't a public traded company anymore.
Right.
But he owns two other ones that are.
Yeah, and it's affecting their stock price.
I would be livid.
There's a lot of discussion there.
As I've heard, that some want to call for a removal. They want the board.
Well, the board is going to do that at Tesla, I'm pretty sure, because it's hurting their actual car sales. Like their stock prices tumbled like crazy, but it's actually they're having trouble selling Teslas, which is an insane thing to say. Because
you know why?
5 years ago, these were the hottest things on the planet.
This is the wrong market, right? Because even like me, I've looked at a car in a long time, and I was like, if I get one, obviously it's gonna be electric. Yeah. And I thought for a long
powered by dead ass birds.
Powered by dead ass birds.
Keep hitting all the windmills.
Look, offshore. We got a wind.
Yes.
Right. But And we're that weird generation. Like my generation is definitely that weird generation. Is that like we won't fuck with y'all. We won't fuck with this shit if we feel like it's off some like if we don't really mess with the person who's doing it. And I don't see myself buying a Tesla.
No, I don't see myself buying one ever now either. Even though for years I wanted one. I wanted one because I felt like I was doing good for the planet, and because
they picked
I
the
like
worst.
to go really fucking fast.
Yeah, right. But they picked the worst time to do this when the market is now. I mean, it's starting to get.
He's the smartest man in the world.
Yeah. Exactly. The smartest man in the world when all these smart people run these companies that he has.
You wanna do news?
Yeah, I like news.
All right, it's time for news. That's when you go news.
News.
No, you used to go news.
News.
There you go.
There we go. Sorry, we get a little rusty.
You made me do the
I know
thing.
that. Yeah, sorry about that. News.
All right, news. Biden's lawyers found some classified documents.
Thank God. But like, this people will hate me, and this is ageist here. I'm blaming this on doddering old man, not narcissistic.
He didn't put the stuff away. It was his staff.
Oh.
This is like very obviously one of these easy, like no malice.
And he didn't direct his staff.
Yeah, there's no malice or intention here. This is clearly an error. Good.
I have a comparison.
Brian has
Files between the last president and the current one.
right. Yeah. Okay.
Oh wow! Look at us.
It's here's the problem though. For the Tucker people, this is parody.
Yeah.
And they can go, oh, so at
and Merrick Garland is moving that way too, though. He's not.
Because he's not playing around with it because he knows.
He knows
it's
that.
Gonna
Yeah,
go,
he knows
right.
it's there.
So there's this thing where they go, at the very minimum, Trump didn't do anything that all the other presidents didn't also do. That's their case.
Right.
I mean, what is obviously true is that he directed this to happen. He could be a doddering old man too. It turns out he was like physically packing some of these boxes. It turns out people are saying, but many people are saying the best people. The tall man came up to me, he's crying. So, but like also, Trump had every opportunity for this to also be an administrative nothing burger, and he battled it at every step of the way because he was intending malice with this stuff. Okay. So Biden's got these documents. They're in two locations. One of them is at his office at the think tank at Penn Biden Center. He doesn't actually go there. It doesn't really matter. And the other is at his home in Wilmington. And he had a press conference today, which was mostly to talk about the economy, which it was good news. Gas prices are down. Inflation is decreasing.
Yes.
CPI. Jobs are still doing well. The CPI is doing better. There doesn't seem to be some major adverse effect on the jobs market with the inflation. Like, it looks like
even
they're getting a soft landing.
Even though Jerome seems hell bent on saying, "God damn, these jobs are gonna run it. They're gonna run it to 4.5 no matter what."
Yeah,
they're gonna try to. I think the economy's gonna bite back. I think it's gonna bite back, and I don't think they. You know how for the longest at zero interest, no one thought we could do that.
Right.
And they were like,
I think nobody thought we could do this.
And that's why I think we're in one of those moments again when no one knows this shit is. It's insane.
Yeah, but it could. Right now, it looks like it's working.
Yeah.
The soft landing, which has never happened, might happen. And if you have an economy that grows from the bottom up and the middle out, and redistributes the benefits and wealth of all of that production to the people who do the producing, there doesn't seem to be economic theory that says you have to have occasional recessions.
But
it looks like it should just grow.
But a lot of these sectors, especially the ones who bit off more than they can chew, are legit. Like, they're laying folks off. I guess the hope is that you lay folks off and that they're able to find these open jobs that are there, which then spreads out the knowledge that you had the engineer you never could have got at such and such because they went there and they got paid. But now they're like, shit, I need to pay my mortgage.
And the space program, all those engineers had to go somewhere. The banks picked them up and used their computer science to create the hellscape that we live in now. But that's it. Yeah. Okay.
So,
So it's supposed to be about the economy. But instead, he's like, look, I got to talk about this thing with the documents. They were locked up next to my Corvette. And I don't let my Corvette out on the street. It stays locked in the garage, so everything is fine. No more questions. That's basically what he did. Like, I don't know why he does this.
Because he's Joe Biden.
He does the weird thing where he whispers. He's like, they said they're going to pass this thing to ban abortion. I'll veto it. Like, what do you think? We're all in on this secret? We know what you're going to do. Why are you doing this? And it's not like he did it just once. He does this every time. This is like a bit for him. Okay, so but like he did that in this press conference too. Then he's like, yeah, it was. They go, where were the stuff? And he goes, it was in my garage with my Corvette. We know he loves his Corvette.
I mean, that's he also too. He knows how to tap into certain Americana type shit where it's like that. When I heard that, I was like, oh, that's
a lot of people went, yeah, I keep my car locked up.
Yeah,
in my
exactly.
garage
And
too.
a lot of because again,
I'm never worried about it going missing.
and what he's moving to. A lot of people ain't like this. He's moving into that re-election mode of like we're gonna get into this. We're gonna get into that centrist mode of this of like, which I'm like, all right, because again, the other options are not good.
It's not only are the other options not good. If he ran as a centrist, he's certainly governing as an extremely progressive president.
And guess what? The time to pass stuff is over.
Yeah,
It's done.
until next.
Until
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
Like we gotta take
First 2 years of your next term, if he lives that long.
My God, why did you no? Why
What?
did you just why? Why did you do that?
Because this is nominally a comedy show and it was funny.
What?
Yeah. All right. So this isn't the same as Trump. This is stupid. Tucker's an idiot. Speaking of Tesla and Elon ruining things, he announced via Twitter that the self-driving mode was now fully operational in all of the cars.
And no one knew about it.
And then that
It's like-
same day, what happened?
It must have ran over somebody.
Yeah, a Tesla Model S vehicle was changing lanes and then abruptly
We got
stopped
the video.
on the far left
Oh,
lane
no.
of the Bay Bridge in San Francisco. Yeah, it just like changed lanes and stopped.
Oh no! Look at every no! Oh!
And guess what? It was in full self-driving mode when it happened because the driver told police that he had been using Tesla's new full self-driving feature before the Tesla's left signal, and its brakes activated, and it moved into the left lane, slowing to a dead stop directly in front of the vehicle behind it.
Jesus, that black car tilted. Oh,
Yeah, so like,
because again, this is a
and
fucking
all
highway.
of the things it does are like recorded, so they know exactly what was happening. They could look at the log.
We're very far away from the self-autonomous vehicles. I'll just say that.
Yeah,
we're very
it's
far.
It's very clear that this thing
It's not
that
safe.
our brain can do can't be replicated in bits and bytes at this
Because
point.
think about all the close calls. That's all I'm gonna say.
So many times.
I'll leave it there. Just think about the close calls where you just barely got. I don't think the computers move. Like,
They can't.
just
They
can't.
can't.
It's
They
not
just can't. All right, not yet.
Not yet.
Brian, I think, added this to the list, and I think I know why. This segment is entitled "Too Young to Rock the Vote." Brian doesn't like the youths.
Damn.
Yeah. So you know how Brian hates it when kids get to ride on the subway because they're kids and they should get the hell off his lawn.
Hear me out. I figured out a new way what happens. We set up cameras and we record everybody who is jumping over these. Right? We set them up.
I think they already have them.
Right. But what we do is we create a YouTube channel
And just show them
of
doing
the
it.
people who do it and fail. Because some of our fairly portly friends. I've been on the train lately, right? And some of the fails are golden comedy. And I'm sick because I'm sitting around. I literally came out of Fort Totten and this came to my head because I watched someone just kind of like not make it over there. Or like not make it on the first attempt and like kind of like pull up their pants. Your big ass is wearing too tight of fucking clothes. Like I'm all right with the shit fitting, but it has to fit. Like, but I'm saying that is the revenue stream, and this is how we're funding Metro off of the ads that you have on these videos.
I mean, fail videos are very popular.
Everybody likes a fail video, all right? And there's my
I get
suggestion.
a Roku channel where it just runs 24
Run
hours.
24/7, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. I'll make sure I send that to not at Metrobus When I log on, I'll look for WMATA. But that's my solution.
All right. So anyway, that's hilarious. But also, Brian hates children.
Yeah.
And so he wants to punish them. But the people in MoCo, that's Montgomery County, are following the lead of the good folks of the People's Republic of Tacoma Park, which I think was the first municipality, at least in this area. Maryland, I think, maybe still was the only one, to lower the voting age to 16 on county elections.
And I think they might let people who are permanent residents vote.
Yeah, they're already. That was last one. They decided. Yeah. So basically, what they're moving toward, what they want to try is let 16-year-olds vote on county issues. They can't vote for state representatives. They can't vote for ballot initiatives or whatever. But they can vote on should the county issue a bond or vote for county council.
Yeah. They gotta cross the street.
I got no problem with this because they are actively, especially at 16.
Hell yeah.
They're in high school. They couldn't be more engaged with the county than in the midst of their high school career. They're surrounded by the county at all times. They are directly affected by county policy. Nothing is affected more than education by county policy.
And let's also specifically here in Montgomery County, which 50% of their budget still goes to the
education.
Schools.
Yeah, same in Fairfax, and I mean that's a common thing for that to be and that therefore makes a big difference about redistricting or about zoning, which is a huge thing in MoCo right now. Like if the kids know that upzoning an area is going to get more revenue for their schools. Or it might, increase density at some of the schools and make them more per student.
Fight the NIMBYs. Fight the NIMBY.
Fight them.
Fight it.
I don't know why those people are like.
I miss that. I miss Twitter for that.
Well, we got to get
Torch.
NIMBY.
Yeah, the NIMBY.
Maybe we can get him on the show.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe I'll talk to the guy who runs this place.
Yeah,
see if he can do it.
But yes.
But Brian hates this.
And also too, the other reason as well too, you need to get people invested again in early. Like
it needs to be a habit.
And the school, especially when you're kind of
election, I vote. There's an election, I vote.
Because you're kind of idealistic in one way or another at this age,
right.
So you kind of can harness that and it's
you're
really
energetic.
Important. Yeah, hell yeah.
And you could get a civics lesson.
Yes.
For God's sakes.
Do they still teach NSL government?
No, I don't think so.
National, state, local government.
I mean, we had government class.
Yeah,
I was an elective.
I love it. Was an elective?
It was an elective.
Man,
I didn't have to take it. I did take it.
Yeah. But also, too, proud graduate of MCPS.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
So you could have been voting.
Well, I could have. Well, that would have been a little tricky. I could not have been voting.
No.
Not only did I not.
Don't yourself. Don't do that.
The statute of limitation. I'm an elder now at this point.
He was escaping Cuba. So
exactly.
All right. So that's news.
That is the news.
Okay.
News.
We want to take a break. Quick break because we want to point out a friend of the show, Priest to Nomad.
Shout out to the priest.
He had a song that came out. It was on the last record that we interviewed him about. It's on the record. It's called Receipts. He did this song with the legendary DJ Cool, who is also now apparently my best friend.
Yeah.
And
you know how Chip does.
And he calls me and he says, "Do you want to be in the music video?"
And Chip says, "No, of course not."
I said, "I don't know if I can be the star, Priest." He goes, "You'll be great." And so I did, and then I was late to the show.
Yes, but you came in impeccably.
Dressed as Steve Cornett. What we're going to do right now is we're going to show you this video that has only been out since Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's already racking up an astounding number of views, probably the most popular thing I've ever been associated with, and up to and including this show. And so we want to play that as our break. You ready to watch this video?
Of course. Just to let everybody know that Beltway Radio and Beyond is no less self-absorbed than we were on the other R network.
Sure. Why should that change?
Exactly. It will not.
All right, we're going to take a break. You're listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and Beyond.
Sweeps.
Excuse me, health inspector? Yeah, I hear there's some funny business going on in here. No, I'm here now. I'll call you back. All right, hold on.
So I'm Drace.
Hi, nice to meet you. Hi, I'm Mike. I'm the health inspector. Yeah, I need to go in there and take a look.
I mean, we don't have no funny business going on there.
I'll be the one to determine if you got some funny. Yeah, I'm here. I'll call you back.
I would definitely let you in.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. It's very, thank you. You're doing the right thing. Thank you.
Legendary DJ Cool. Woo! One time for my man, Priest to know man. Hey yo, Priest, it's time to remix one of my classics. I said the music ain't loud enough. Pump up the volume. Turn it up, come on, come on. Pump up the volume. I said the music ain't loud enough. Pump up the volume. Louder, louder. Pump up the volume. I said the music ain't loud enough. Pump up the volume. Turn it up, come on, come on. Just another bit of volume. I said the music ain't loud enough. Yeah, sound good. The volume. Listen, from the sounds of slave ships, poetry weighs the piss, and DC they slice niggas, give them lines like hate Swiss. I emerged from that rubble with good trouble. John Lewis, we fluid, now we travel amongst the stars like Hubble. Pump bass through the Alpine, the EQ prejudice, periods up below 100 hertz, keeping me relevant. Priest to know master name, hit your city like acid rain in June. When you hear it, nigga, y'all like machines, screwing each other over for the rap race. DJ Cool Rock Stadium, y'all scratching in cafes. Stay true to the nucleus of hip hop, we own it. So if you hear a wiki, bitch, nigga, just own it. Yeah, we know. On the track team demo, so much weed on it. We had the camouflage in a green window. That sunbeam window, they watching me with this thing. Man, I pump that shit louder, make them say my name. Nigga, get louder. Come on, pump up the volume. Come on. Pump up the volume. Yeah, the music ain't loud enough. Pump up the volume. Come on. They got big waves of rap. The music ain't loud enough. Pump up the volume. Pump the volume. Pump up the volume. The music ain't loud enough. Pump up the volume. Yeah, for so many years, see none of y'all promoters was getting with me. Now my composition book slaying niggas like Mississippi. Now y'all eating crow like Jim. The whole lifespan, that lady singing the shooter, so that old can't win. We locked into the game plan. My third eye vision reflect off the sun like some Ray-Bans. Y'all know the culture is safe and all stink. Nah, that's the good hands. We the new brand. First classic etched in your memory like some new brand. Cool where you at? Slim, I get you. That's the motherfucking DC back signal. We with you. DMV want the smoke slim. Y'all know how we get down from the city when they pack 4 pounds. We flip your chest muscles upside down. That's what we pack the fire for. That's my mind state deeper than iron ore. The liar roars in that mic booth. We speak truth in school. For your spirit when you hear it, nigga. The music ain't loud enough. Pump up the volume. Pump up the volume. Pump up the volume. The music ain't loud enough. Pump up the volume. Turn it up. Come on. Pump up the volume. The music ain't loud enough. Pump the volume. Louder. Pump the volume. The music ain't loud enough. Pump the volume. Turn it up. Let's go. One time for Priest to know man. One time for hip-hop. Get your hands in the air if you love hip-hop. It's what the Priest to know. Somebody say say ho. Say ho. Somebody scream with a
ChipChat here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's popping? A dope video there.
Yeah. How you liked it?
You did a good job. You did a really good job.
Worth me being a little late for the
Hell
show?
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's a hell of a track.
Yeah, I mean, every time I hear it.
Less than 24 hours from its release, already over 10,000 views. It's not gone way past that, but that was the fastest anything I've ever been associated with. But it was pretty impressive. So shout out to Priest, and cannot wait for whatever comes next.
Yeah, and when it does, he'll be here.
And when I get famous from this awesome video, you unfortunately get famous with me.
I know, right? As I try to retreat.
Right.
try
can
to-
come along too.
I mean,
We
it
should always
doesn't-
have a Brian.
It doesn't work without Brian.
Yeah. Well, you need a white guy around.
Yeah.
All right. He was. I think this week you were veneers, right? That was your? Yeah. He's
Veneers.
yeah. He's so white. He's a set of
Oh, wow.
veneers. Yeah. Shout out to Real Talk Uncensored. It's a great show.
Yes.
You should
Great
listen
show.
to him on Beltway Radio and beyond,
Hell yeah.
but not on the other station. It doesn't exist anymore. It does exist, kind of. Whatever. Yeah. So somebody should call Ronald Reagan. I mean, I know that's hard because he's dead, but you know, the Republicans in Congress are all polling, and like Republicans in general are like, you know what? Maybe we're done with this war in Ukraine. We should just give some stuff to Russia and see if they'll lay low for a little while.
Yeah.
Go blue.
Thank you. These are the people who like venerate Reagan like he's a saint, and you know, were deathly afraid of the godless communists and you know the Ruskies or whatever.
Right.
And here they are. They're just like, yeah, just give them what they want.
But remember, even Reagan appealed in his group to the Nazis.
That's true.
So they do like Nazis.
They do like Nazis,
And that's what it always
and
comes
Putin
down
is
to.
kind of like a Nazi.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So,
yeah, okay. Well,
so that's
right.
why now we like Russia. That's
Right.
why. Yeah, obviously.
That's I mean
It's insane, but yes.
that is a very clever way of pointing out the rank hypocrisy of all of this, right?
Yeah.
Is that obviously the democracy is fighting the autocracy, and why are you backing the autocracy if you were supposedly for democracy? They're telling on themselves, right?
Every time.
Speaking of people telling on themselves.
Oh, God. I'm so glad you put it. Because I saw this and I just put my head down. I said, oh.
Okay, so there was a sizable study done by the Anti-Defamation League, and just checking to see, you know,
See where we at?
how much anti-Semitism is around.
Let me tell you. It's a
And
lot.
the numbers they're staggering, but some of the stuff, there was like some good news buried in this, which is that like as recently as 10 or 15 years ago, the numbers were tiny. People had basically been almost shook of this stuff. But don't worry, Trump Republicans are back.
Remember.
They've got torches.
But remember, exactly.
They're very good people on both sides.
At any time when there is any, at least how I've seen history, any time that there seems to be any uncertainty in the populace on anything, and
Comes
no
back
one
to
knows
us.
where else to blame.
Yeah. The Romans were doing that shit.
Yeah,
They'd
it's
be like, hey, things
it's-
are getting a little dicey over here. Palestine, what are you up to? Have you paid your taxes lately? Yeah, like yesterday. I don't think you've done it enough, you know. And then
and the rest of you have indeed.
Right,
That's
yeah,
where it starts,
yeah.
and that's where it starts to get really, really scary.
we've seen this movie back when it was in cuneiform. Latin. It's a good
That's
joke. All right. So here, some of the things that like what percentage of people that they asked
I hate these
agreed
'cause
with
they're
this?
mostly true, somewhat true.
Yeah. So using mostly true or somewhat true, which is the
That's how.
true side of the medium, right? They asked, this is the percentage of U.S. adults who agree with these statements that the Jews
Yeah, every time.
stick together more than other Americans, despite the fact I don't understand what other Americans in this context
That's
means.
insane. But like again,
Non-Jewish Americans.
but that
Is that what that? Okay.
then what does it mean to be American?
It doesn't make sense. I don't know what other Americans means.
Mind you, the whole thing of
Other than this kind of American?
okay, we move on. I guess I don't understand that.
It doesn't make sense. The sentence has an error. Syntax error. Go to line. This is not going to
Yeah.
work. All right.
Okay.
So what percentage is it?
70.
70%. So 7 out of the 10 people you know think that Jews stick together more than whatever other Americans are.
Yeah, that doesn't even. I don't even know how I don't think the numbers would even play out that way on.
There's not enough of us.
Yeah,
for that
I was
even
gonna
to
say.
be the case.
I'm thinking. I'm like, as just like mathematically, I'm like,
Right.
I don't think the numbers like that. They can't work.
I don't know.
That doesn't
Okay.
work.
the next highest on the list, and I bolded this one because it's kind of interesting, are in business go out of their way to hire other Jews, which again seems mathematically impossible.
I don't think that's possible.
Also, nominally,
It's
again,
not
I'm owning this network. I'm the only Jewish kid here by a lot.
I was gonna say this one, even what they're trying to go at, kind of doesn't. It's almost like you can't have it both. You with that one was specifically,
yeah.
Because then everything you say about using everybody else to do this, like it couldn't be that.
How can we be using other people if we're only hiring our own? It's a very good question. I don't know.
It's not true.
I don't think I've.
Yeah,
I did work for a Jewish company once.
Okay, once.
Yeah, it's the guys that own your baseball team. Okay, but weirdly, the corporate office was off from Christmas to New Year's, and the corporate office was closed on Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah, but I had to use leave for both of those days.
Wow.
I'm the only field employee who's Jewish in the entire fleet. And I'm like, yeah, it's Rosh Hashanah, I gotta go to the temple. And they're like, well, you gotta put in time off.
Sick.
You can call it personal time because you're not sick. I was like, all right, that's cool.
Cool.
Yeah, so that one's bullshit. Are more loyal to Israel than America? Definitely not at this moment.
All right, if we got it, I don't ever think this was, but even if you look at it now, there seems to be a retreat of folks are at least the Jewish folks that I come in contact with, can't speak for everybody, but it seems to be there was a difference where it was more there was a time I
if you
felt
were within living memory of the Holocaust or the War for Independence in '48, I can understand being Jewish and feeling like, you know what, I really got to keep an eye on this.
Yeah.
I get that. And I'm a generation away from that. And I even feel it a little bit, but not anymore.
Yeah, and that's so. But again, this is a now. It wasn't this is done now.
Right.
So again, that's kind of crazy.
All right. Always like to be at the head of things.
What are these questions they're asking?
The question is, do you think that Jewish people always like to be at the head of things?
What, the head of the
that's
table?
That's mostly true.
The head of the table?
I don't know, organizations? I'm one of three. There's nobody in charge. There's literally nobody in charge.
No, there's not. There's not.
I wouldn't have put the three of us in charge of anything, let alone a radio network. I don't know what that means. They like to be at the head of things. So there's no Jewish people who aren't managers?
Guess what, friends?
Kanye's gonna be pissed.
Kanye, right.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah. He's a real Israelite. Or whatever.
It's white people who are. It's not.
Yes!
That's who's the head.
I can't wait till there's a Christian president. That would be a really remarkable step for America.
Some might say we had one Muslim.
That's Jon Stewart's joke. Yeah. Yeah, he's one of us. He's on this survey too. All right. Don't share my values. That's 36%.
Lie. That's a damn lie.
Don't they always talk about Judeo-Christian values?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
What?
Okay. Have too much power in the business world. So they're hiring all of our own people, but somehow we're
I feel like whoever
power.
says that one has to have
and they go in business. They go out of their way to hire other Jews, even I guess who are unqualified. This is a tough one.
There's so many.
Hey Morty, can you help out my cousin? No, he's a fucking moron. I'm not gonna hire him. Get out of here. That conversation I've definitely heard. Can you help my cousin? No. He's bad at his job. I don't like it.
Yeah, some of these questions are insane.
In business are so shrewd that others don't have a fair chance. Again, I can't wait,
Dan
Bill
Snyder
Gates,
is not all Jews.
Yeah, and he's also not very shrewd in business.
At all.
At all. And Bill Gates, famously Jewish. Warren Buffett, too. Have too much control and influence on Wall Street. I think that's basically the same thing. I'm not sure what that is. Don't care what happens to anyone but their own kind.
I think they knew what happened to their own kind, and
that's why we care about all of the other kind.
They're kind of sensitive to shit like that.
Yeah, if we see another kind that looks like they might be going down the kind that we went down that was unkind, we got a little kinda mad. That was good. We are great at comment. Let's see. Have too much power in the United States today?
Yeah, that's why we have hate symbols posted all these. They can't even. Folks can't even stop. Like if
They drew a swastika on one of the county park signs next to my house
exactly
this last week.
Imagine, right? Because if anybody had so much power as you claim,
This ain't the way I'd live for my life.
I was gonna say they would probably, because most folks who have power, they use it.
Yeah.
And they wield it like a sword.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
whatever power we have, we wield sort of more like a return receipt at a Kohl's. Like we know we're right, but we're not really gonna push it.
That's
a
really
bad
good.
analogy.
That's kind of bad, but I get it though.
Yeah,
right?
you get the idea. Brian's playing music. He wants us to get over.
Yeah, okay, well.
All right.
Here's
my favorite one. A lot of irritating faults. So because of like Woody Allen movies, this is what we're all like. That's 1 in 5 people said that, by the way.
Just like Family Feud, but it's like we surveyed such folks, and these are the top answers.
Yeah. Yep. It says Jews aren't warm and friendly. I don't know what this. And then are also not honest as business people. They're very shrewd at business, so nobody stands a chance. But they're also dishonest at business. How are they that good at business by being? This is rough.
Yeah, sorry. I yeah.
Right, so you hear the music.
That's how we end this thing.
We've come to the end of the show. Thank you for tuning in to the first broadcast on our new network.
Yes,
That's fantastic. We promise that the network will get better, but this show will, of course, remain the same junk that you're used to.
Yeah. You wouldn't expect any less of us.
We shouldn't change. We're the right people, or whatever. We got the receipt. It's cold. If you would like to be on Beltway Radio, try to get in touch with us. There's Facebook. That's facebook.com/Beltway Radio. Then there's Twitter, which is @BeltwayRadio. IG, which is also Beltway Radio. You notice the theme. You can try to tell us why you should be on the radio, and we might give you a shot. Probably not. No, we'll listen.
Look. Here's what you know. I'm listening to all submissions.
If you're as funny as us, you're in. Low bar to clear. Yeah. As far as all of the rest of this, our other radio partners, FTX, MSN.
Oh, they are partners?
NOTN. Yeah, they're all still there, I think. I don't know. I don't have a good way to check. They're getting the podcast feed. They're not getting the whole feed.
NOTN. I hope we're on still twice a week.
Yeah.
I'll check.
They don't know where to look. Thanks to our home on the interwebs, CoPlayMedia.com, except now our real home on the interwebs is BeltwayRadioandBeyond.com.
I love it.
Yeah, see, we have a real website and everything. Thanks, as always, to our family here at Beltway Radio for making us sound as smooth as Kevin McCarthy's speaker election. All right, where can everybody get you on the socials?
Nowhere.
Can they get you?
No, you could still tweet me at DC Cortez, and you can find me. You can't find me on Instagram, or you could find me on Instagram, which you probably won't get a response at Ketchum Cordy. And that's just terrible when you have a new radio station.
That's okay. I don't think anybody tuned in to get your IG handle.
Yeah.
Oh, more people did. Never mind.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, tonight. That's 4 people. That's great.
Oh, there we go. Oh.
Yeah. All right, and you can get the show on the Twitter at RipChipChat, Facebook.com/RipChipChat. You can find me on the Twitter being RipChipChat. You can find the show on Facebook, ChipChat RR on the Twitter and RipChipChat on the Facebook and Twitter. But
Legacy.
More importantly, at Beltway Radio on Twitter, where you can find our show and all of the other shows live, and you can go back and listen to them if you want.
Yeah, we're gonna have that one viral hit. Changes everything.
Like corn on the cob!
I'm ready!
Chip Chat on WBRB, Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweet!